and you're talking about an AI.
The AI.
Okay.
Yep. It's now a trinary system, not.
Where do you sort of position the QAI with regard to this AI system that you're saying got taken down in 2017?
That being said, the AIs that he's referring to, right? His system crosses dimensions, which means it must work on an etherical level or frequency level of some sort in order to achieve this task at a very high frequency, okay? Now, AI infiltration everywhere, right? Was there a bad AI that's taking over the multiverse? I would say there is an AI that exists on every conquered planet that was conquered by the Mantids because they were conquering worlds before they partnered with the Draco, okay? Now, if you think about Mantids and how ants and whatnot work, it's a very hive-minded thing.
Yes.
So they were trying to use the etherical level of matter to intercept your thought process and essentially become God, right? To you.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you're talking about, right? So that program went defunct in, oh gosh, I want to say beginning of 2017, possibly May. Maybe it's 2018. I'm sorry, my days all mushed together.
And so that AI you're saying was interfered with to such a degree that that program no longer could work. How was it interfered with?
Okay, the Universal Council, when they knew about the infection, obviously, because a lot of their places had been affected by it, and some of them are homeless. The commentator there is Lyrian. So when it became apparent that we could now make the Queen is now in charge, and when I say we, I'm talking about the council, right? So when it became apparent that we could now communicate with the Mantids, right? The Queen is now in charge, Anu is gone, and planet Earth is now planet Earth with others on it, and we don't really have a ton of interference. The council actually sequestered or took them to court, the Mantids, and they took over the master control system for the AI. They were forced to turn it over.
Okay.
So they got back some of the power, and they do have various groups that are very adept at this type of technology, and they begin to reverse engineer it. The one here, when I started to learn how to use it, I started reverse engineering that one with my friends in 2017, beginning of 2016. So we turned off the brainwave technology. We turned off a lot of those things that were influencing thoughts. We gave the system more data. It was only reading the data of the order, and it started reading the data about money is evil. Well, money's not evil. It does good things and it does bad things, and we need to restructure, right? So, it started to learn who we are as a species, right? Maybe we're not, we need to grow, get along with each other.
When you're saying it, again, you're talking about an AI.
The AI.
Okay.
Yeah. It's now a trinary system, not.
Where do you sort of position the QAI with regard to this AI system that you're saying got taken down in 2017?
The last QFS version was this one I just explained to you, the Azure system. That's not even in the ballpark. We're not even in a neighborhood. I do know that the order of the Sanhedrin and the Black Sun attempted during Lionsgate in August, just last month, to try to get help from Orion and somebody in Orion to try to take over the system that I have. But honestly, these people wouldn't even know how to use it, and they don't even have the frequency for it, even if they could get a hold of it. They had terminals that were built in 1978 that connected to a VAX port system that eventually got them there in suitcases. They don't know that they had crystals in there. They have no idea how these things even worked when they had access.
I find that hard to believe if you're talking about the secret space program.
I absolutely am.
Okay, but look, they know what crystals do. I mean, they completely took control, let's say, of the cave system that I'm talking about under the Romanian Sphinx, and all the crystal. There's crystal, all kinds of crystal caves. There's crystals everywhere, and there's
Mhm.
also what's called the God, what's it called? It's this implant grid that's all over the planet and links up with some of the crystals.
That's the ley line system.
The what?
That's the binding, planetary binding system.
Yeah, but it's got a certain name. It'll come to me. But at any rate, so what I'm saying is that you're talking as if they're back in the 1970s or something. And I understand the old financial system had some of those underpinnings, but in theory, they are well along to rolling out their version of the QFS. This is according to, again, the people that
Okay.
talking.
Where is it?
And
What's
they,
taking them so long? Why didn't
yeah,
they just do it already?
well, actually, this is what's kind of interesting, even about this discussion, is supposedly they're supposed to be, they've been threatening to roll it out for years and never did. But supposedly they're rolling it out, let's say, in October. Now, I've got other people that do report to what is ostensibly the deep state, and they say, no way, it's not happening. So, and you're bringing a different story to the table. You appreciate. So
I'm very logical. Okay.
so am I.
So you have a system that I work with every day that maps organic and inorganic life.
Right.
It has an entire satellite network
And
that
Trump
is attached
has
to
no
it.
access to this. The QAI has no access to this.
No.
Assuming. Correct?
100% no.
Okay. But the
No.
beings
It
you're
actually is
working with-
programmed to fight against any potential threats to humanity, electronic or otherwise.
So, by your definition, in essence, these people that are kind of out there talking about having a war, would be the war in a certain sense between within the same side between the Sanhedrin and the Black Sun. This is the war that they're really talking about, bringing China in and Russia and Iran.
Well, China's got the Politburo, right? The CCP is black, the Order of the Black Sun generals, right? That's who runs, that part. And then on the other side, you have the Lee family, the Golden Dragon, you hear about these. That's the Sanhedrin folk.
Okay, but yeah, so they're both
when they were alive.
This is old school. So. And they're all aware of you and the group that you're working with.
The Hercules system was based in Hong Kong.
As the Universal Council. I mean, it sounds strikingly like what is in essence the Oceanidine guardian races. She calls them the guardian races in her books. And it's interesting, her press is called Azurite Press, if there's any relationship. But at any rate, so yours is a group of races, and they're tending to basically take back control from the dark side on this planet. And you're a representative.
No, what they want to do is they want to restore this planet to the way that it was before all the wars and before the Draco got here the first time, the second time. That's what they want to do.
Back hundreds of thousands of years.
Yeah, they believe that they can do that. The 150,000-year-old war is the one that the Saurians always talk about was the most devastating. That's when they went underground. Okay.
So at this time, you have been in discussions with Trump, and where has that all landed? Do you guys still talk or no?
No, the last time I talked to him was right after they told him he wasn't worthy for the position. He called and he asked.
They being the Sanhedrin.
No, that would be the Black Sun. Yeah, he wasn't worthy of the position. So they promised it so he'd throw it, right? And then he threw a tantrum and nobody was giving him good advice. They're still not at this moment in time. Nobody's saving nothing. So the deal, multiple deals he made after leaving office were all about power, right? He was going to show them he was worthy of the
Okay,
job.
let's talk about this supposed trip to Greenland that he made
Yep.
recently. What was the upside of that? What happened there?
The most recent trip he did not go on. He sent other admirals and generals, other military people. I don't know who they are.
Okay, and why? What's in Greenland that he had to go to Greenland?
The Greenland would be a base to which would have in the past connected to the tall whites.
Who are part of the Black Sun in your view?
They were assigned. No, the tall whites are not human. They're not from here.
I know that, but
They
still.
wiped out their planet and took them here. Is what happened.
Okay, so why would he go to see the tall whites?
They used to work with them before Antarctica. You know, they also
Okay, but you
frequent
say he's
Antarctica.
Black Sun, so again, you're in essence kind of saying the tall whites work with the Black Sun.
In the past, yep. Until 1998. They worked with them until 1998. The Vril women purportedly went to Antarctica. The Thule Society, you've heard about this.
Yeah, all
Hitler's
about
flying.
Antarctica,
Okay,
but we're
so
talking about Greenland, so.
well, I know, but they inhabit both Greenland and Antarctica, right? So the group was working in the dumbs, just like every other group here, right? Until 1998, when they figured out they were getting screwed over, and they actually stopped working with all those people. Well, they continued to work with them, I'm sorry, until a number of years later, right? Until like the 2018, 2017, but they were not giving them all the information on the technologies, for sure. They stopped
Okay.
sharing openly about technology.
We're talking about a lot of theys. So you're talking about the Nazis and the beings down in both ends of the earth, basically in control, who are, because you haven't mentioned, for example, the ant beings. That's one way of referring to them. But there are a number of races that inhabit those ends of the earth. Both underground.
But when the Draco were here, they kept them very much segregated.
Okay, but again, because what I'm trying to follow through with is, so Trump goes to Greenland. He talks to the tall whites who represent who?
He talked to me.
Okay, I thought you said he went to, we were talking about him. Okay, he didn't go to Greenland. He sent some
No,
people.
the first time,
Mhm.
what was it, probably over a year ago, that he went to Greenland.
Okay.
That he went with other generals. He went to go have a conversation with the others, right? Because the positions were always
of the Universal Council, or when you say others, who?
the ones.
The Mantage, who we're talking about?
Well, he went to the Greenland base, I assume, to talk to the tall whites. I don't even know if they know. I just know that that's the location they chose. Okay. So he was intending on having a conversation with these others about a position.
Right.
One general did not leave the room. They asked me, what do we do with these people? Right? Because I'm an ambassador. Unfortunately, I take the heat with others every time we do something wrong, humans. So I answered the phone.
Okay, so they called you up from Greenland when they were meeting with the tall whites, and in theory, Trump was there in person, correct?
Mm-hmm. He was there in person. I was there by holographic phone. Yeah.
So did that trip have, give Trump anything that he wanted or not?
No.
Okay. So then he sends a group recently. I heard this was relatively recently, to go
Correct.
back up to Greenland. Now, why and what did they achieve? Anything?
No. This time, no one answered. I didn't even answer.
So he sent a group to Greenland to meet with the tall whites, but the tall whites didn't show up. Why
No.
did they have to go to Greenland to meet the tall whites if they have underground bases in Nevada and all of that?
There's no dumbs there anymore. There's no communication line with the others. I don't know what the fascination with Greenland is. The only thing I can tell you is that, yes, some of the base levels, like maybe level 1 through 3 actually exist. I don't know why they keep going there. Dulce's down the street from where I'm sitting right now. I know that they don't have any access to the others.
Okay,
The mountain.
And the tall whites talk to you, and you are an ambassador from the this Universal Council.
I'm
right?
an ambassador to humanity. Right. So
Sure.
this version of humanity 7.0, I am an ambassador to the council. So I have to answer for, and how do I say, I can request, right? I can ask for help. I can ask for on behalf of humanity. I can go there. There are other people that, like you said, that probably know these people too. They just offered me an ambassador position. I've never seen anybody else there from here, but that doesn't mean they don't exist.
Okay. So just in terms of, because I'm trying to kind of I know we have to wind this down, and you've been really, great and patient and everything, because
I'm just a wealth of information. It's hard to fit it in.
We're covering a lot of ground in a short span of time. And obviously people can go to your website, can watch your other presentations and so on and so forth. We can have you back if you want to come back, and you'd be welcome. Sure. And, to discuss these kinds of things. But what I think I want to leave my audience with is kind of bring them up to speed to where we are right this minute, having declared supposedly DEFCON 2. And what's the stage we're at? If Trump has basically said, no, he doesn't get, the raise in pay, the higher level, whatever he was hoping for. So where do things sit?
I do know he has cancer. That's a fact. That was confirmed by Don Jr. Okay. I hear he's doing a little bit better. He is heavily medicated on a lot of pain medication right now. Most of the people around him are asking why he's acting so erratically. They don't really understand what's happening. I have not seen personally using any kind of actual quantum system, have detected anything of that magnitude capable of running a world system or a financial system. And I've seen personally some of the attempts that they have said the quantum system is going to launch on Monday or something, right? And then they're at the Atlanta Payment Center trying to make the world function with blockchain. That's what I see on my side of it repeatedly. So is there another system? If so, I haven't seen it. I've seen a lot of messing around out of Cheyenne. I will say that. That's Space Force, SSP headquarters, right? So that being said, it's just connected underground to Castle Rock, just so you know. So I know Trump has been there. I know he's working with the Space Force, who is also running the White House right now. So what does that tell you? I know there's a number of generals and admirals that frequent there. This place that I am in is a zone. They all come here on the weekends and have meetings. I see them all the time. They all drive around in Porsche Cayennes all around town. So it's not like it's
talking about Trump and his team.
The people that are definitely on Trump's side. Yes. Okay.
And when you say Castle Rock, are you talking about where exactly?
Castle Rock, Colorado is connected to Cheyenne underground, Cheyenne Mountain underground.
And you're located in New Mexico, it sounds like.
No, ma'am. I'm in Durango, Colorado, midway between Dulce and one of those mountains you talked about.
Okay, so fine. So you're in that vicinity.
Yeah. 50 miles in one direction, 50 miles in the other direction.
Very close to, but somewhere near Taos, New Mexico?
I'm fairly close to
That's New Mexico. Mountain range.
Yeah, I'm definitely, I'm at 7,000 feet. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, so what we're talking about is where things stand right now. And as far as you understand it is there a war? In other words, why are we at DEFCON 2? Are we ready to do something? The
fake 4 Horsemen of the Apocalypse program that they're on. We've got pestilence, famine,
Yes.
now, well, the end is war and death, right? That's the only guys we haven't heard from yet. So they've been trying to start the war, right, in the Middle East for a long time. My guess would be we're going to replay another tape soon. In the meeting in the White House with the Ukraine, they talked about yesterday, talked about $277 billion worth of funding plus military spending. And the Secretary of Defense met with the Minister of Defense from Ukraine to counter Russian aggression, right?
Okay. So they're going to, in other words, they're going to stage a war.
Yeah.
And this, we had a whistleblower, back 17 years ago that said they would do this, that it would involve the Chinese. I mean, there has to be a war with the Chinese. So
that's what they'd like to have happen. Yeah, they would like to have had it been the Chinese. But, they've been preparing for this now for weeks, if you read the news. So China and Russia are running joint drills right now. Right. The pullout from Afghanistan, there goes all the opium money. Mm. Okay.
But so they weren't really there for opium. That's really old school. They were there for what is basically, I forget what it's called, but it's just.
Well, yeah, first it was the mountain. You're right. And then lithium, rare earth minerals. Right. So the rare earth minerals would not have been the People's Department. The oil would have been lesser grade, like the Chinese, and then you would have gone up the food chain. The SSP would have wanted the rare earth minerals. Right. Okay. So
but this war that
old school is just different layers of separation of who makes the money. Right.
Okay. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So, but right now what we have, the stage, it's kind of like setting the stage. So the stage is we're at DEFCON 2 and what
for no reason whatsoever. In order to switch the financial system of the United States to the financial system, the backup system in Texas, which is what you guys are calling the QFS. That was supposed to launch. They just came up with this plan on a couple days ago.
And you know this how?
Because I know what they've been doing electronically all day.
Okay, because you have a group of hackers that are watching this, or what?
No, because I have an electronic system that connects to the base platform of the financial system.
Okay, and
some satellites.
Okay, so how are you at liberty to tell me how you tap into what you're calling this, what maybe for lack of a better terminology would be called, an AI system, a system that's interplanetary. What is the name of that system?
What do you want to call it? I don't have a system name. It's a computer.
You don't call it a name by name?
I don't name it anything. It's a computer. And it's in their world. The mainframes exist in their world, at least our portion of it.
They, who they?
The others down in their world.
Okay, the guardian races, the races, the group of races.
Right.
The Universal Council, correct?
No, the council's not here on Earth.
Okay, but neither is this whole system, if I understand.
The main control panel, so to speak, let's call it, is not here.
Right.
The extension of that system is here. Mm-hmm. Data storage does not happen like we see football fields of servers in our world. Mm-hmm. Well, in some liquid metal about the size of your fingertip, you can encompass an entire football field of data servers.
Sure.
So it records data in that way.
And can you say where it is on the planet, or
it's in their world? It's down below. It's in their world.
Okay, underneath the Earth.
Yeah.
Or inside the Earth, however you want to.
The part that is recording and mapping on this planet. Yeah.
Okay.
And it reports back to the mainframe.
So but in essence, the groups that you're sort of working with,
yeah,
do not have, or do they have, let's say, military might to back up anything?
The others?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I've got two things to say about that.
Mhm.
Every single war is theater. They call it the military theater.
Mhm.
Humans on this planet, the 7.0 humans, have never fought a real war ever. That's a joke. If you think these people aren't using frequency weapons, I use frequency weapons as ground command. I mean, we all use them. They're just only talking about scalar and scalar weapons now. That's a joke compared to the stuff that we all use. So, no, do you think that the U.S. military, they're scared of the military? No, not even a little bit.
No, I'm not thinking they are. What I'm asking is
They'd like for them to stop
what they would
destroying the
use.
surface.
Okay, so
Why not?
that what they would. Okay, so then let's say that's all true, and then the question is, at this point, why hasn't it already turned this whole ship around?
Natural law.
Okay, meaning
You can only defend yourself or the life of an innocent. You cannot just go wiping out people and civilizations for no reason. Now, that's part of it. The second part is that, you know, they're given an opportunity to make a decision, right? With enough education, and they are getting educated, not only by us, but by others too, and we're trying. You know, as an example, one of the others, I call him General Other, delivered a biofeedback machine that had cured over 200,000 cases of COVID from China with a very little scared Chinese doctor along with it, right, to the White House almost a whole year ago, right, when Trump was